Coming up tonight, we delve into the first semi-final of ECS Season 7. To kick off the action, it's a clash between defending champions Astralis and the underdogs of Avangar. Having taken on a fresh-faced LDLC in the quarterfinals, Astralis showed no remorse, taking down the French side in a swift 2-0 victory. Dust 2 was Magic's playground, as the young rifler ran rampant and devastated any efforts from Sixer and XMS. The Danish behemoths ramped up the momentum on Nuke, tearing apart the French squad as they refused to let up, clinching a rapid 16-4 victory. As the only team to take a map from the Danes last season, Astralis certainly claim their revenge against LDLC. But will the tables turn as they face ECS newcomers Avangar? Locking horns with another Danish side, the Pinnacle Cup qualifiers gave North a run for their money on Overpass, as they mounted an impressive comeback to take the win 16-12. Orpajane took no prisoners, clinically shutting down the Danes as he left North with nowhere to turn. Although the side slipped in a close loss on Inferno, the CIS superstars were not going down without a fight, as they returned to lock down Mirage in a convincing 16-8 victory to take the series 2-1. But only one will reach the grand final on Thursday, to fight for the first spot at the glorious SSE Arena Wembley and take home the lion's share of $25,000. Will the Danes secure another swift victory against Avangar? Or will the CIS underdog steal the crown from the three-time ECS champions?
Out of position. Oh, that's a nice flick. And they have no idea he's there. What is this? Oh my God!
Always sees animated. That's a kill. He can go to quick nowhere. My God, ball has done it. Watch the season. Oh my God! It's the pistol. And Mages helped them out. They might have done it. 3 kills at the start. It's a 4-on-2. Mages is surely going down here, but he's on his so strong. That is absolutely epic.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's another beautiful day in the world of Counter-Strike. The sun is shining and there's some fantastic Counter-Strike coming up. We've got some world-class teams joining us here at ECS Season 7. My name is Henry G and we're here with Day 2 of Week 1 of the Counter-Strike action. I'm brought to you by the beautiful James Bardolph and DDK. Gentlemen, we had a bit of a roller coaster yesterday. A lot of fun, a lot of interesting action. Deadbees and you, Dan. Have you brought any animals to the occasion today?
My voice hurts.
Your voice hurts?
Yeah, we went for so long yesterday.
You are an amateur then. My voice is trained for this sort of thing. So, James, how's your voice doing?
It's perfectly fine.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, from the streets, man.
Exactly. Me and James are from the streets.
Ready for one day of commentating.
Well, today the action is a little bit more subdued. We did 4 best of 3s yesterday. We're going to bring you 1 from each region today. So 2 best of 3s in total. It's a little bit calmer, but it means we can give absolutely everything in these couple of games. So it is ECS Season 7. We have changed things up. We've changed the format. We've made it a little bit more comprehensive, I would say, and a little bit more digestible for everyone at home and the players indeed. Here is the format broken down for you. It is essentially a weekly cup. You see those dates along the top? I would say each one of those counts as a cup. The winner of the cup each week will make their way towards the finals happening in London, and then it's a single elimination best of 3 with a bracket starting at the quarterfinals, which we had yesterday. Today we have the semis, and then we'll move on to the finals at the end of the week. If you do not qualify in 1 week, you can still be eligible for the following weeks, and hopefully whittle down until we get the best possible teams at the finals from each region. Does that do it? Does that do it justice?
That's
everything?
pretty good.
Lovely stuff.
Solid effort, Henry.
Thank you very much. Been working on it. Here's the bracket. This was yesterday's game. Just what Astralis absolutely batter LDRC. Unsurprisingly so, to be fair. Avangar taking down North, which was a great game. NIP Force, we didn't catch that one, but expected result. And the game of the day, FaZe versus Virtus Pro. That was a lot of fun. Today we've got Astralis Avangar and then NIP and FaZe. And I'm not sure. We're going to bring up the schedule as well just to kind of show you that there it is. The schedule of the day, Astralis Avangar. That is going to be a lot of fun. There is some skill on that server. Astralis, the #1 team in the world, obviously heavy favorites, but I still think Avangar is a skilled team that could bring some fire today. What do you think?
I think they're one of the potential upset teams. Just because they're not playing Astralis every day, where Astralis will have more familiarity on a player versus player. You know, when you're always going up against a certain person in a certain position and so on. I think there's less of that with the Avangar, so there is a chance that Astralis will have to adjust on the fly. Again, I'm not saying they're going to lose. Obviously, they're the best team in the world, but I think that Avangar provide an interesting challenge, one of those kind of up-and-coming teams who just keeps wrecking people like a Vegas Squadron's done at Majors before.
So, Dan, I think we can all agree they probably won't beat Astralis today, but do you think we'll see Avangar at the finals in general, given the system we just described?
I think there's a distinct possibility. Yeah, I think they're a team that's like ENCE in a sense. They've been just grinding their way up and just through those tiers of Counter-Strike very consistently over a prolonged period of time. And I think we're seeing the results of that hard work. And that's like one of the great things about where CS is right now, is that the average level individually has risen. It's rising all the time. And also from a team perspective, as the years roll on, we get more and more data, and the standard increases on average, and so you get to see stories like this. Whereas before, I think, we would see a team that maybe like you haven't seen their name before, they pop up and they look quite promising. Clearly, they've got some good individual players, but they're very hot and cold, and it's just because they don't have those fundamentals in place. Now, if you're going to be achieving what they achieved at the major, that is because you've got some pretty solid fundamentals under your in your foundation. So.
I think the complexion of Counter-Strike in general right now, James, I think it's pretty easy to agree it's the most competitive kind of era of Counter-Strike we've potentially ever had, considering how global the game is, how much resources are available. Do you think it's harder than ever to be the #1 team right now? Astralis are the first team to really crack that, I think, and be the undisputed #1s. Do you feel like that's harder to achieve now than what maybe Fnatic did a few years ago?
I think it has to be, because I think there's more information available now than there ever has been, more tools available for people to look to focus in on one situation if they want to, for example, just passing data and demos and so on. So there's a lot more of that. I think we have had more coaches and analysts than ever, and that's something that we should increase as well. So there's more eyeballs watching any one team, just nailing down what they do, looking at their habits and how to abuse those. So it is hard to be consistent.
It's a lot of fun casting today. The game, when we watch it, the majors and stuff like that, to see how it's evolving, not even from event to event, from day to day, the new kind of strategies and counter strats that are coming through. It's so remarkable to see the hard work and dedication going in from an analyst's point of view and the players as well. I think it's a really exciting time to be a Counter-Strike fan. Speaking of which, it is Astralis Avangar to kick things off. We've got a little veto. We can have a look at the maps that are going to be played. Avangar, certainly the underdogs here. They've got a lot of talent in this squad, but I'm not sure they have what it takes to take the #1 right now, but we can hope for a good game. Nuke and Cash are gone. We're going to kick things off in Overpass. Good pick from Avangar. It's a map they're pretty strong on, and Astralis, they used to be one of their best, but they're a little bit shaky on it these days. It's going to be second on Inferno. That pretty much is a given for Astralis. I hate to be a pessimist, James, but that is an absolute lock-in. Dust 2 if required. Do you think we'll go to a third? It's difficult to imagine a world where that happens.
You know what, if it was any other team, that Avangar 2, it would be, I would want to try and pick Avangar in the hope that we get an upset. Obviously, they go into any match versus a brand name as an underdog, right? But I think that at some point they're going to start toppling those teams on a more regular basis. But Astralis is the one team you just can't pick against them. So can it go to a third map? I think it could. But again, we're talking the smaller percentages rather than the larger ones.
Dan, have you had a chance to watch many Avangar games? I've casted a lot of them recently. They have got some star players. Kickerts and James come to mind, for example. Is there something about their play you particularly like?
I think they're pretty well-rounded overall. I think, but the problem is that Astralis. So you have like your tier of top tier 1 competition, and they're all like around here, and Astralis are kind of like just like up here in their own tier. They're the S tier by themselves.
Sure.
And that's kind of a problem, because when you look at a match like this and you're trying to think what are the ways that they can make it happen on the various maps, and I'm just thinking all the ways that Astralis are incredibly resilient. Even if they get a bad start, even if everything goes wrong, they have all these tools that they can go to. Inferno is very good for them in that regard. They've got so many ways to play it with poor economy on the CT side of all sides, or Overpass very similarly as well.
Most of the win factors we give in traditional matchups sort of say they need to win the pistol, they need to do this. That can be true when you play against Astralis, but it doesn't necessarily mean you're going to win. They are incredibly tenacious, and it's difficult to take them down, evident by their results this year and last year, of course. We're going to look at the Pinnacle.com predictions right now. We'll see where the land lies with this one. We'll bring it up right about now. So Henry Greer, I believe that's me. I will go with Astralis. So lock that one in. I want to do Sliggy next. Sliggy, what have you got? Astralis. Got to shout it so they can hear you. Astralis. And then we'll go with
but not yours.
Daniel Kapadia.
Got to go for the Stars.
James, do you want to throw a curveball in?
Do you know what? You can't do it versus Astralis. I want to pick Avangar, but I have to pick Astralis because I am on occasion sensible. So.
Do you think just a lot of people just like, nah, just next week? Just let them do this. Just go through the bracket this
remember,
week. Just...
Rogue did take down Liquid, so anything can happen here.
Yeah.
Something's in the air right now.
Yeah, I think that the problem is like eventually Astralis are going to lose, right? And it might not be the obvious way where, let's say, people are expecting, okay, we're going to see a stronger and stronger Team Liquid. You see that kind of periodic improvement to the point where, okay, they could take it now. I wouldn't be surprised if it was like an up-and-coming team with strong fundamentals who get a surprise win. First, before that happens.
We've got the user predictions next. Dan, how one-sided do you think this will be? Over 90% for Astralis?
Oh, yeah.
Let's have a look.
Yeah. It's gonna be
I think it's partly a fan-based thing, though, as well.
It's more generous than I thought. That's not too bad.
Yeah, some solid support for Avangar. That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. I don't think it's a 90%. I think that'll be a brand name thing.
I think it's a 95% or 99%, James.
Wow. Okay.
I think there's like no way that they can possibly win.
You know what, I'm going to pick a Vanguard. Change my
there
prediction.
We go. That's what I
Name value.
And they are our sponsors.
Name value.
Name value. Guys, I think Avangar's a great name as well, to be honest. I feel like they've proven themselves to be worthy, not necessarily a world-class team, but they can beat big names on their day.
Yeah.
Maybe this won't be that day.
Do you just want to cast your mind back to Magic's boy yesterday?
What about it?
Just how he was just absolutely beasting everyone.
By the way, I got roasted for saying that his name is pronounced Morgisk boy, but you told me that.
Yeah, I did, yeah, because that's what the Danish pronunciation was. I got that from Danes.
It's Margisk, isn't it? Not Morgisk.
So I got told like more like lawn.
Who told you
lawn, lawn, like Morgisk.
Who told you?
I forget, some Dane. I asked a long
that's
time
enough
ago.
for me. Case closed.
The problem was I took information from Dan and passed it on.
Anders told me it's Margisk. Anyway.
Okay, well, Anders is... He wants to be British, doesn't he?
Brought to you by Pinnacle.com, our proud sponsor of ECS Season 7. Obviously, you can see, obviously, it's going to be heavily favoured towards Astralis. Not too bad on Avangar. Like, it's, again, more forgiving than I thought it would be.
It's worth a punt. It's worth a punt,
Worth
Henry.
a punt, potentially.
We're
Who
not
knows?
allowed to do that.
No, we're not. That's why I'm trying to move on very quickly from that. So we just had the knife round. Just to be clear, it's not like a traditional LAN event where you play whatever you want to pick on your opponent's map. It's a knife round every single map throughout the best of 3. Bit of a curveball, makes it exciting, I think.
I think they should just pick the side. I think the guy, I'm down with that. Because it's just more, to me, it's more interesting. But
yeah. What was the first map again? We had no, it's not. It was Overpass first.
Yep.
It's Overpass.
I think that with certain matchups, if the team who didn't pick it gets the wrong side and they're likely to get smashed, I think it's more interesting if they get to pick their side on their opponent's pick, right?
One interesting thing I think about Overpass, just to go completely away from that.
Yeah. That's fine, do it as well.
I feel like Astralis were the original innovators the way it's played right now. And that's kind of an interesting conversation to have. You innovate the game so much and everyone starts replicating what you do and almost making it better. Their B execution was absolutely iconic on this map, but it's certainly dropped off in terms of their players. Everyone's doing it. Everyone's replicating their play. And we're into the action. Maybe there's a conversation we can have after. We'll see how this one goes down. It's Astralis starting the CT side here, and Dupree is not wasting any time whatsoever as he takes that silence USP towards the top of middle. A little bit of damage inflicted towards James as they've got one smoke, a P250, and a flashbang, all in the hands of Crizzen. So there we go. We're off to the races, ladies and gents. Let's do it.
James, of recent notoriety of saying strange things on Twitter.
Very strange things.
Just unusual. But hopefully we can focus on the game once again. Worth highlighting, though.
Astralis on that CT side are very scary on this map when they really get going. They have some of the best coordinations on like Suez takes and just like great timings on how they work their aggression in ways that other teams just don't really... They just don't... no one does it quite as well as they do. So I hope we get to see some of that. Sanji moving his way in. Keycurd as well from Connector. They go for that B play. Zipex on top of the box gets caught off, and things are looking pretty good right now. Sanji able to lock things down there around the short position, keeping his planter safe. Clave getting close, and that's a bit too close perhaps. Too close for comfort. Dupree now, only player with any HP and any kills.
Well, he's got his work cut out for him. As that bomb's been planted, Dupree and Device, the double D combo, they might be better off saving their USP and armor at this point because we know Astralis love a force buy in the second round, and those guys are quite powerful with their Deagles and Scouts.
See, I told you Avangar was the right pick.
You were right all along. Why do I ever doubt you?
This is my... Do you know, I've tried to knife people from this spot so many times that if I ever play and I'm streaming, everybody just looks here and pre-fires me, even on the ladder.
Have you ever made successful knifes in that position?
Of course, of course.
Okay, just wanted to be clear. I understand you're attempting
Henry.
it a lot.
Complete notoriety.
Fair enough.
It's very rare that I fail a knife attempts.
I won't even comment on that. So I've been playing with you a few times where there has been fails. And it's cost us some rounds.
Every now and then.
Every now and then, that's fair. So we will be the force buy here. Astralis, as mentioned, very, very good in these particular rounds. Dupree, normally the scout player on these ones, so he'll pick that up for now. It's Device on the Deagle, and Dupree trying to find some early damage. But I think everyone's aware he will go for this sort of play. You don't necessarily want to challenge him. An early nade might be enough to dissuade him off the position. Less than 60 health on him as they make their way for a contact towards B. Now, we talked about not rushing B yesterday. Contact plays are a different story. Those are okay. A couple of flashbangs and timing it well. It can work out, but that grenade is disastrous.
Not bad for a start. As you say, take some nade damage. The smoke's making things a bit chaotic here, giving time for the CTs to get into position, and those pistols can be dangerous in those close quarters, and they'll actually void the B-bomb site now, all of Avangar. That's brilliant stuff, actually, wasting all of the utility pretty much to the CT side. And they're going to have another crack at it, perhaps on the A-bomb site this time with a rotation. They've obviously left one player in the sewers, which is fantastic, because you can very much expect that Astralis are going to send someone to sewers, or surely someone's going to go for a peek to confirm as to what's going on here. I mean, they could go for the blind rotation. That's a little bit safer in some senses, in case this was a trap and there's 3 players waiting in the sewers for a push, which could absolutely happen. But instead, Kiko going for a push himself, actually, getting a bit impatient maybe. We'll spot a couple players still on the B-bomb side, which will further encourage Avangar to that A hit.
30 seconds remaining. These pistols, time to put in some work. CT swarming towards the A site now. We've got one trailing behind. 20 seconds. Avangar still trying to find a way to plant the bomb. If they could take the truck position, that would be fantastic for them. And the bomb was moving that direction, I think. 13 seconds for the bomb to go down. And now Zephex is the last man standing behind a smoke grenade. And the bomb will get planted, shot through the wall. And that will be a 2-0 for Avangar. 4 players survive. Looked like it was somewhat difficult there, but they had kept cool heads and they were successful.
That's a big round for them to win. Not many people can take down Astralis in the second round force buy. They've actually gifted themselves to 3-0 starts here because this will be the full eco. Watch out for a potential stack here. Astralis were innovators of the original B stack towards the water area. We'll see if they want to deploy any tomfoolery like that. They are going to send a couple of players towards Connector. Kikut's one of the star players of the squad, makes his way up towards short. He's got the Mac 10. They're going to farm some cash here. Nice little boost from Magus. Might be able to steal a kill away, but it's going to be Sanji first that makes his way through. And they're holding nice angles now. You can see lots of discipline from Avangar. Every kill has a knock-on effect in Counter-Strike. And if you're by yourself in those sort of positions, you need to be very careful and cognizant that the CTs are pushing, trying to flank you and get kills. Anything they can to make their next round more successful. Dupree, exactly that. Does push, but without armor and a real pistol, he's going to have to just fall back and accept his fate, which is surely a death at this point, but he might get the drop on the player at party, but not to be.
Pretty smooth sailing so far for Avangar. Very smooth indeed.
Smooth seas don't make good sailors, though, Dan. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, that's very, very wise.
That's very wise.
Beautiful insight coming in from Henry G early here today on the broadcast. But double orbs will be the reality now for Astralis, and it's going to be very interesting to see how they decide to set the tone with those orbs. So what will they go for? Will they try to go very aggressive? Will they just actually stay somewhat passive, try to be reactive? Well, Magic's going straight in there towards sewers. They had the smoke from CT spawn into the tunnel there, the opening for sewers, and he'll go 1 for 1. Perhaps not the best start. Oh, this is beautiful. Wow. Okay.
Almost lined up. Spots one more player, but no bomb spotted just yet. It is outside the entrance to Connector on the T side. Minute 20, plenty of time for Avangar. And a 3-on-3. Does somebody go fishing for Astralis to try and get that information? Or will they rely on their holds of the B and A bomb sites? There's a flashbang. Have a look. See James poking around, but no bomb spotted again. No bomb spotted just yet. What is the timing going to be like here? Spots just enough of Buster. Dupree. But the bomb still hasn't been seen. A minute on the clock. Still a long time, but Device's angle could be absolutely everything. Surely they don't go far. Speaking this. Oh, he's missed it. How? Goes back to the well again, and somehow both players are still alive. still going for the engagements again and again. They're not moving forward beyond this angle. And that's going to just compound the issues for them because we've got dupreeh on the long position to hold the cross.
Device doesn't miss many, and this time Avangar with a little bit of luck, but that runs out into 3 versus 1, and James will have to do what he can here with 25 seconds. At this point, his main objective, try and take a couple of down, win him. Almost no chance of winning the round, even a kill, hopefully on Device, and maybe deny the AWP. That would be everything here, but actually wants to die before the timer expires. He's waiting for that smoke to go down and see if he can sneak on towards the side, which he's done. Another miss from the Device there, but makes up for it. As long as he gets the kills, survives, wins out the round, that's all that matters. And Astralis are officially on the board, but still a few more rounds to go before they break down the cache of Avangar, and James has purchased his fabled AWP. And this is where the action really kicks off.
The reset potential with the kills that they did get on the board. We can see the money for Astralis has been mostly spent to recuperate all the lost utility and weaponry. And 1 AWP this time, not the 2 they had previous. Device goes aggressive here towards sewers, and this is something we're going to be used to seeing. They set the tone early on, showing that, hey, Device, you can be anywhere. You can be sewers, you can be along, you can be bathrooms, monster, wherever. And that's a very scary prospect. But quite quick is Avangar with their presence towards bathrooms, spotting that Astralis are being very passive. Nothing to be seen here so far.
Sipex just looking for information for now. Content with that. Not looking to take an engagement to fight to the death, but to position his team accordingly with the relevant information that they have. We've got players towards A, players towards B, 3 towards A, and the bomb seems to be rotating away from that position, but the long way around. So if they are trying to offer a fake towards B bomb site, it's a long time for that information. dupreeh's in a very interesting spot right in the back. He could catch the bomb in the rotation, but he hasn't heard, or has he? He has now, so there are issues here. 35 seconds already, and Avangar might clear the site, but if they can't get the bomb there, then what good is it? There's the first player, but the trade is so crucial. Stereo frags for Avangar make it 4 versus 2.
This is actually looking very good for Avangar here. Great teamwork and good awareness as well. dupreeh was on for a couple of frags and denying the plant completely. Device now, not looking his absolute best in the last few rounds, does nail that one. Brings it back to a winnable situation. It's a 3 versus 2, but he needs one more. Spots the elbow, and now he's back. He's firing on all cylinders as he continues his rampage towards the bomb itself. Teammate coming through. That will be Majis, who's taken down, and this round is not looking promising now for Astralis. Might just have to bail out with the AWP. Dan, you mentioned the reset potential here, and it's absolutely massive. If they save the AWP, they still have a fighting chance with the force by going in next rounds, but this is an idyllic start for Avangar. They're actually looking very good. This is not bad at all.
Yeah, it's really interesting too, because part of this is because Astralis were so passive in this round, and sometimes you do want to mix it up. You want to play some rounds slow, some rounds fast. You want to have a lot of utility available late rounds. Sometimes you want to try to burn some of that utility early round to try to disrupt any of the plans that teams may have. But we can see in this instance that perhaps Astralis have now learned a lesson in that you shouldn't want to give too much space up to Avangar. Perhaps you want to be a bit more of a presence across the map early to mid-round, because if you just give them bathrooms for free like that, they can do a very good job with it.
Well, this round, Device has got to pull his socks up and try and find an opening pick. Majis might beat him there, though. He's pushing through short. Smoke down to at least buy him a little bit of time here. Aware that he could just be sat in the corner. Will spam to confirm they're not. And Device currently holding towards long from the CT bathrooms, trying to get any sort of information. You can see it's a very passive hold from Avangar. They're aware that the AWP was saved. They need to work out what there is first as they continue their default, focusing towards connector.
This weapon to be collected. Doesn't know what's around the corner, dupreeh.
He wants that gun though, doesn't he? Real bad.
He's got no cover from above. So he doesn't know if anyone else is in connector holding an off angle, so he's really trapped at this point. Doesn't know if it's safe to get the gun just yet, but at some point he's going to have a look before he gets pinched, so at least he can have an off angle towards the door. The bomb having a look towards long at present, 45 seconds on the clock. The only person deep really anywhere for Avangar is the short B position. Buster taken out now. Very tentative pushing from Avangar. Lots of 1v1s. The bomb's been spotted. Second phase been spotted by B. Magic though will hold the B bomb site down, but again, the bomb's been spotted by connector. And now Let's see where Magic goes. He's got 20 HP. He knows the bomb's up top and one plays outside Monster, and the hunt is on.
It really is. 20 seconds remaining, but the bomb's on site, and he is not long for this world. Another round there for Avangar. Remember, that's the force buy from Astralis as well. They are left with nothing. That was actually an opening pick from Dupree, a device orb kill as well, but the round still falls flat. They have to take a full EK now. Avangar presumably goes 6-1 up on the T side of Overpass. Remember, this is one of the few maps, Astralis. They're a decent Overpass team, but it's not one of their top-tier maps. It's kind of a middling one for them. So they have their weaknesses, and people are very aware how they approach it. So Avangar, this great start. They might be able to make something of this best of 3. First kill comes in. That's going to be the Mach 10 towards the underpass position. Dupree punished as Sanji takes away $600 there. And at this point, should this be more of the same? There's the second kill. Krisen will pick it up. And it's a 5-on-3. I don't see them taking much damage here. Even if they do, it'll be the Mach 10s that go down. And that's not really a big deal. They want to have the better firepower for the next round. A Mach 10 is still viable, considering the money's not going to be great for Astralis still. But they'd rather farm cash and take the risk.
Really liking what I'm seeing from Avangar so far, just because it's intelligent Counter-Strike overall. And backed up by the ability to win fights against obviously some of the best individuals in the world. And that previous round where we did see Astralis go 5 versus 3 quite quickly, and then having that turnaround, because Avangar are able to win 1v1s. They're just a series of 1v1s, and that's like so important at this level. You can be as smart as you want, but if you don't have the ability to back it up, it's not going to really amount for much. So we've got the 5 rifle setup here from Astralis. With the lack of utility, one would imagine that they would open up more aggressively, and we'll have to see if that's going to be the case here. It's not looking super aggressive. They're not going for a short take, not really. They're going to push Fountains or Connector. In fact, it's Keycut going all the way to short, looking for a pick, but Magic will defend quite well, and this is a weird opening from Avangar. Still trying to just take 1v1s onto the B-bomb site without any support. This is quite unusual, especially considering Astralis have no utility.
That's the reason they're really doing it. They know they've run the money down, and it's going to be a pretty desperate buy from Astralis, so there's not going to be an incendiary to the start. They might be able to help themselves to some kills if there's a UMP waiting on the other side, for example. It's definitely a gamble, but I think a justified one, because Avangar, they've got a huge lead, right? They're going to try and present some unpredictable approaches and things maybe Astralis wouldn't expect and carry on this great scoreline they've got, but Astralis starting to find their footing now, and it will be a 5-on-3, but as you mentioned, no utility. This round is still dangerous for them. Only a couple of smokes remaining. There's a Molotov towards the barrels, and just getting information here. Krisen will make his way through and try and reply with a quick frag towards the B sites.
I feel like Keycut had the jump on Magis there, but just didn't register the model in time. 33 seconds. Avangar somehow going to get a bomb plant opportunity, at least. There are a number of players around the water position, though. There's one. 2 more to find. The bomb is...
Wow.
Time is ticking low. Still players, still issues here, but Civex will wait for the retake of his teammates. Not quite getting anything out of that. Avangar turning this around. How, I don't know, but it's Dupree and Device remaining. And Dupree will hold on. Not expecting the second player, but doesn't get peaked just yet. Low on health now, 20 HP. Pre-firing all over the place, showing some presence. Where is his teammate? Up on the balcony position. Avangar, maybe only one will show if challenged around a monster position. And the other one will come out late for the bait, but doesn't matter. Krisen will get the kill, and Dupree has got a fallback. 7-1 to Avangar.
It's a good demonstration, again, going back to that lack of utility, because there's one thing about having a lack of utility, and for in this round in particular, it meant that Astralis were in a position where they're like, all right, we have good positions, we just have to hold these positions, but we don't have the utility to bring us forwards or to deny them from taking that forward space on the site for the plant. But the way that Avangar moved around, they moved perfectly. They had great movement that denied the majority of the angles for Astralis.
That one smoke inside the water, I'm not sure if that's intentional. It looked like to me they wanted to throw it to the left-hand side of block graffiti. If it does go in the water by design and it stops the CTs being able to peek off the slight ledge, which is a very common angle, that's pretty cool. I'm not sure. I'd have to go back and watch it. But if that was the mentality they've got, a bit of a read on how Astralis like to hold that position, that could be quite a cool idea. I think it was a missed smoke, but I'd have to go check. Either way, this is Astralis with that saved AUG or bullpup, as some people like to call it these days.
Yeah, the bullpup, let's go.
It's going to be Zipex, and he'll be taken down. Avangar are just ravishing Astralis right now. This is impressive.
They're kind of, I mean, Astralis are in a position where they don't have a lot of great chances, but Avangar are actually doing everything completely correct. That's what I love about this, is that they're just playing so tight and not offering really any opportunity for Astralis. You know, it's really no wonder Avangar been doing so well. But speaking of which, Device finds just an inch and he's going to take a mile as he picks up multiple kills here. How has that happened?
It's a nice snap from Buster. 1v3. Couldn't find the last player. Astralis got a kill from the front of the site, kill from inside toilets. Too many targets. Timing for Device to pop out was right. Got a free kill outside toilets, and it went from bad to worse. And very quickly back into the game. Lots of bonus money from that kind of a victory. 5 rounds behind, but if they could win this round, then maybe things would be rough for Avangar if they don't get a bomb plant. So plenty of opportunity ahead. 2 walks out for Astralis. 3 players starting on a B bomb site for the CTs. Magisk around the smoke, has been pushing beyond that smoke with some flashes on different rounds, so there's some variation there, which is always important. James so close, just taps the shoulder pad. Glaive escapes that one.
Get some good damage as well. You can definitely tell that Avangar are putting a lot of thought into their game. I think the last round they were just walking bathrooms, because that's a very unexpected thing to do when the CTs just have pistols. But in this round, I don't know how James is alive, frankly. He's very fortunate that Glaive did not get a connection to the torso. And there's a re-smoke of Monster for Glaive. The double AWP setup is something that finally Astralis have the money to go back towards. And the Vanguard slowly clearing the bathrooms. Somewhat conservative setup for Astralis between Dupree and Device on the A-bomb side, but it's more than enough to do the job. And Vanguard, they're going to be playing with like 20 seconds left. The bomb's still not moving from Fountain.
They're holding and biding their time. Dupree in the bathrooms right now. Plenty of presence on the other side. His timing is everything. Perfectly played. Astralis having to grind out rounds now, holding onto this 5-on-4. He'll drop the smoke and wait for a reaction towards long, but no one there. Bomb is recovered, and I'm going to assume it goes through the connector towards B. Not before they find Dupree first. What a great play from them. Managing to pull a player away towards the A site. You can see Zipex is left, but Glaive with the AWP, able to hold like a turret towards that B site. 10 seconds remain. They might just have to save this.
Definitely time to save for Avangar. They managed to get all the way up through the toilets towards the front of the A site and had somebody outside the monster position. And I think they were just trying to figure out where Astralis are. And had one guy with an off angle looking through toilets kind of towards long, where Astralis did have a player but didn't spot him until the kill started to come in. So I think once they had map control towards both sides, they wanted to try and get one pick and have an idea of what to expect, but they didn't come for the longest time. So Astralis just held them out. Avangar looking for engagements to capitalize on. Astralis not giving them those engagements. So that might be the adjustment we see here from Astralis. Again, taking that short B position. It's been a pretty common play from the CT side. And it continues here. Again, a different variation. Magisk in plenty of different spots. Having a look through the connector position now. Kikut's just made his way in. Minute 20. A slower start from Avangar. Now they have some info as to where a Device is trying to play.
Oh dear. Both AWPers down to 15 HP. This is good for Avangar. They've now constricted the space somewhat for Astralis. Although, as I say, that Device is creeping a little bit further forward in bathrooms, trying to make sure that if they try to push, he can try to at least peel off one player before finally falling back onto the bomb site, which does make a big difference. Oh. But this is now getting very dangerous. Astralis don't have the best money in the world, and Avangar are threatening them now pretty heavily in this round. Device, he's stuck in the corner here. I don't think he feels as though it's safe to reposition.
I think Astralis have got 3 players on the A bomb site now, with Magisk trying to flank.
They throw a smoke on top of Devices to kind of hide him in there and allow him to go for the backstab if required. That's kind of cool if they did. He's got so much pressure on him, though. It's going to have to be an astronomical play with 18 HP, and they've fallen back. Avangar have played this to perfection. 10 seconds remaining to get another kill, but there is a CT on site. He actually might be able to deny everything here, but he goes down. Is the bomb being planted? It is. I think it's gone down. Oh my God.
God.
Wow. What a play.
That's mental.
Got to be brave to do that.
The fact that that shot, that one bullet misses, that round's over. They nailed it.
They're pretty much playing. They're punishing Astralis when they look for information, and Astralis were doing really well, just staying back, not taking the engagements Avangar were going for. But then Zipex being boosted up was the bad mistake, and they just had a guy just waiting outside connector forever, and that flank tries to come through, taken out that last-minute rotation. Glaive almost saving the day. That's 1 kill away from victory for Astralis. It's a pretty narrow margin.
5 seconds remaining. That 1 kill, if it comes in, it's over. And they nailed the shot. Device is going down as well.
I'm not surprised at all that North lost to Avangar, honestly. It's just that they have great calling. Like, you see teams trying to do stuff like this, but...
Oh, that happened? Right, okay, that explains things. That's insane.
Oh my god.
I've never seen anyone hold that angle ready for that kill. That's mental.
I love that. I just love that.
Talk about high-impact frags. You're just taking down the clutch minister, getting ready to deny your plan, and he's just been plucked out the air. What the hell is that?
That's so beautiful. Wow, they're playing super well.
If that doesn't pull off and you don't get anything for it, 10 seconds remaining, you're just not with your team. You've kind of thrown them to the wolves there, and it works out. That's really sick.
But yeah, like right now, Avangar have shown like great discipline and coordination and really good calling and just intelligent game plan, very intelligent game plan, and that's something that's I'm getting really excited now because
because I can feel a funny feeling
because it really means that we could have an awesome series on our hands. Because yesterday we saw that Astralis were just burning white hot straight out the gate, and it's just you can't touch that. Especially if they get rolling, you just can't touch it.
What we mentioned though at the beginning of this game, Dan, remember, we're getting very carried away with the romance of all this right now. They're against Astralis, and regardless of the scoreline, we've seen so many ridiculous...
I said it myself.
Exactly, right? I'm just trying to remind you before you get carried away and say, Avangar, they're one of the best teams I've ever seen. Wait, this could really turn around. I've seen some crazy comebacks. Remember, Astralis are capable, I think it was a London major, right? It was against Liquid when they were down,
the Inferno game?
Yeah.
Oh, that was one of the best Inferno games
a prime example of what they're capable of. They are used to playing the comeback. They know they get themselves in this position sometimes. It's a flaw in their game, but maybe a strength as well to have that mental fortitude to be able to bring it back, whatever the situation. This one isn't that desperate just yet. They get 5 rounds on the CT side, they can make that work. So let's just bear that in mind as well.
Hot flash play through connector from Astralis, but James was ready for it. His teammate was completely blind, so it was a nice save. This is anti-eco territory for the side. Dupree's on a fact-finding mission, and Avangar don't have anybody towards that A bomb site, although maybe Buster is going to have a look in the meantime. They'll still take some more players out. I think Device has been spotted. Just a 1 kill for him. And now Dupree speeding up, maybe a bit heard by Buster. In the meantime, Magisk is on the B bomb site. There we go. He's been heard now. That leaves Magisk on B, 25 HP. Not to your usual angle. Bomb needs to be collected now for Avangar. And even at this point, with the player outside Monster looking for a short B push, they will make their way onto A and clear that. Now that's been secured. They could choose to get the bomb there, but the bomb has to get there safely with some support, protect the VIP. There we go. Anti-eco done. Only 1 player lost. 9-3 for Avangar.
James, did you play the VIP mode in CS 1.6?
Of course.
Big fan?
Yeah, absolutely. I loved it.
We should bring that back. We should start a campaign. Let's stop your draw on the map campaign. Let's bring back the VIP maps.
I had a conversation about that with the developers.
Yeah.
Some 1 or 2 years ago. I can't remember how the conversation went.
Brilliant insight. Thank you so much, James. Fascinating story. We will talk more about that later on, perhaps. I'll think of some good stories. Right, where were we? Counter-Strike. Round 13, 9-3 on the T side for Avangar of Overpass. Device still doing his best. There is a bye, but time is running out. Like I said, you want to get at least 5 rounds. It is a CD-sided map, but in this particular matchup, I think Astralis 5 would be enough. We'll see if they can pull this one off. They've got the Orgs out. They mean business now as they go for a bit of a bait and switch here.
I hate dealing with this setup.
Yeah, it's a nightmare, isn't it?
It's so awful to deal with this setup.
They have Mages watching short as well, just to note, so they can fully focus towards Monster.
Zipex the anti-flash man.
Yep.
There it is.
Perfect.
Oh.
just about.
Oh, that's perfect as well. Right, well, that's a really good sign for Astralis. And at this point, I'm wondering, what do Avangar have up their sleeves? Because they've got quite a lot of time left still. By their standards, that's not a bad boost. Finds one off the sandbags towards heaven, and now it's 4 versus 4 again. And the utility situation is not that bad. They've got 2 smokes, 2 mollies, and a flash. That is enough to make a play to the bomb site.
Do Avangar assume that Astralis know they have to go B? Because Avangar don't know what the CT map control is above the B bomb site. They've been here pretty much the entire time, just slowly poking and prodding towards the B bomb site.
Ooh.
Glaive standing tall, but the taller they are, the harder they fall. 2 plays left for Astralis. They've been dried out. Look at this from Dupree. 10 seconds and still the CTs have the water, so they're starting to move in for an anti-plant position. There's surely no way this bomb goes down. Giga having a look. There's 2 to find now for Chris, that won't happen. Astralis being patient again. Avangar didn't really have anyone towards A whatsoever, so all the info was known by Astralis.
Yeah, no panics there, but a lovely little play from Avangar. After losing the first pick, this was a great anti-flash setup, as you mentioned, Dan. But the boost towards short, it goes to show, when you see that smoke down at short, they assume sometimes it'd be a bit of a force field. It's like, well, no danger will come for that area. But you can boost in the sandbag, look towards heaven. Nice response from Avangar, but again, running that time so low, didn't have a chance to really do much of it when they went to the plant, had to commit. And that's a bit of a calling card of CIS teams in general, more so Avangar. They love to approach with a very slow, methodical gameplay, but orgs across the board, no device AWP as we get to the last couple of rounds here. Big one. If Avangar can win this and get double digits, might find the 11-4 because the money will be broken once again. Dupree still holding towards the bathrooms, and he's got presence towards Connector. I think they've made their way out, and he is not aware of it.
This is really tense.
His teammates holding a pixel gap.
Yep, not ideal.
So,
There he is.
not expecting more. Device has got to go deep to the point of no return to try and do something about it, but the trades will continue.
QQ.
3 versus 3 with a minute on the clock. Again, Vanguard do well at not showing the bomb. Someone's going to have to go back for it, though. Should probably be Keycurse at this point. Prison's hanging out outside the B bomb site. And it seems that James will continue to have a look towards A. Got the scope on long, looking for a jump peak. It'll come eventually. There it is. 30 seconds. Now what? Seen each other, but still haven't seen the bomb. Bomb's heading towards the B bomb site. The Prison's been there this entire time. Maybe he's got some tankies, maybe not. Guess who's in the water? It's Magis on this occasion. Creating some space for himself. 10 seconds once again. This is a late chance. The bomb's not going to go down. There it is. Disaster has struck. And it will be a timeout round win for Astralis.
How many times they're attempting to plant the bomb with a few seconds to go? When it works out, it looks beautiful. It looks so orchestrated and synergized, but when it goes wrong, it looks clumsy and chaotic. And that was one example of that. So slowing the game right down, Astralis are not really hunting for much information anymore. They're playing into the hand of Avangar. They're saying, you know what, if you're going to go slow, we'll let you do it. You can have 0 map control, no picks, and you'll have to execute on us on the very last few moments of the round, and that's huge for Astralis. They found that all-important 5th round we discussed, and now might be able to get 9-6, which actually isn't too scary at all for them. 2 AKs, a couple of Deagles, and 1 AWP. James with 11 kills to his name as they focus on a faster approach this time. Makes sense. They haven't really got the firepower or utility to do anything too technical. All 5 players contact play towards long. They know eventually Astralis need to get some information in this position as they check the bathrooms. And ideally don't want to smoke this. They just want to face check it, not give any cues away that they're there. If they throw a smoke, it's a sound cue, and that could be it. So they'll boost the AWP up behind the flower bed, see if they can spot a player like Dupree, who's trying to get a bit of intel here. If he jumps too much or swings out wide, he will be taken down. That should be the cue to go now, because as James mentioned before, if you have no map control, information where the CTs are pushing, you really do have to commit and not run that timer down again, trying to get all the way back towards T-spawn. They are going back, though. I don't like this. Because you can see, Device has got behind them. They don't have this information, and now they're going to have to suss it out in the worst way possible, running through the map and guessing and making a lot of noise. Can't do this in CS. It's just too obvious.
This is what the lurker's for.
Exactly.
Now there's traps. They have no idea what is towards B, and it being contained. So that's why the lurker exists outside the B bomb site to get that info, instead of rotating all the way back to T spawn, and James is having to fish again for a pick from long. This time there's a smoke, so...
That's amazing. The device just single-handedly cut off half the map.
It's a great play by him, but just a really poor call from Avangar. They can't do that.
But it's adjusting as well to the habits of Avangar. But that's the question of if they can adjust fast enough.
10 seconds again. They're nowhere near a bomb site.
I was wondering if maybe Device almost overplayed his hand here, but you can see that this has to go down. Is it going to go down?
Yep.
Ooh, it goes down, and all of a sudden it's down to Magisk. And he's going to go for the 1 versus 3. He could have some help from Glaive, though. And that's Sanji with the frag. And that's a 10-5 scoreline for us, Avangar. It was starting to go very wrong in the last few rounds, but...
How on earth?
So, Dan, it's a new format today. We're going to be throwing to a break at halftime. We're going to be back in 2 minutes. I didn't want to be rude. I should have told you before. We'll be back after this. Love you all. Turbulent times for the Astralis boys here. They find themselves 10-5 down to the hands of Avangar. But, as we mentioned, they are a strong, tenacious team, and they're presenting a nice little B rush here with some Molotovs and flashbangs. They need this round to go in their favor. Can the Danes pull it off?
That's a good question. So far, Avangar will equalizing 3-3. As they vie for that control of bomb side. Now they're getting absolutely destroyed there. Good push coming in from Astralis to take over the water position. James now against 3. Looking to see what he can get done from Graffiti. And oh dear, this is pretty rough. If they play the peaks correctly, he knows it's not really possible. So we'll go forwards now. He heard James run backwards, and now he's going to take, or he'll actually go back to the bomb side. Okay, fair enough.
Well, James at this point, any kills he can get, that'd be beneficial. He is the AWPer. An extra $300 is worth a lot for the snipers as he tries to get us excited with the old shake there. A land trick for those playing at home. As he will try and get that 1 kill. Just an extra $300. If you get the kill on the pistol round, you full eco the next, you're able to get an AWP in the 3rd. So you have to get 1 kill in the pistol or the 2nd round. So that hasn't happened for him yet. But if he can get a kill this round, he'll be onto something. The problem is he won't be able to get a P250 in that regard. So here it is, Magisk on the B rush. A Molotov towards barrels, a flash dive. You see that lovely smoke towards heaven as well. It means they can just really focus on the key choke points of the map and stop rotations being so accessible for the CT side. Big round for Astralis to pick up. There will be James. I could not tell you why he's gone for CZ armor when his teammates haven't. But there we go. That's the way it's going. Oh, no, sorry. He saved the armor. I take it all back. I don't want to. That's my bad. He did not spend much more than $500.
All on the B-bomb site. Man on head. Question mark. Well, yeah, I think the first half was telling of how this matchup is going to go. Astralis learning from the habits of Avangar, adjusting to those. The failure to adjust is how Avangar win. And the adjusting is how Astralis are Astralis. And they adjusted enough to keep the score competitive. Now we ask the same questions of the CT side. I think once James is on an AWP though, it will be interesting to see how he's dealt with, because we know he's not shy to go for a forward shot where he can hop back and try to avoid being traded. So that is to come. But for now, Astralis will try to keep them poor.
Here's Device. And solid control of the A bomb side here. Ooh, more man on head action, James. Oh, hello. Kika is getting all up in their business. 3 quick kills for him. He's picked up an AK. Is this doable now? Sanji's there behind him, full HP. No Kevlar, of course, but guns to be collected. The USB is enough. Oh my god. Not like this. This is an incredibly difficult plant, though, especially with the HE there, especially with the fact that they have no kit. They have to kill Zipex. This is the only way. The only way is to kill Zipex right now. Right now. And with the... Oh, my God.
They got off it, but I think that's enough.
I can't believe they've done this. How have they pulled that one off? That is ridiculous.
Well,
against
okay,
the Astralis of all teams.
Yeah, well, sometimes that's the way she goes. A full eco, essentially a CZ and armor is all they had. The P250, that's a really cool boost. I've never seen it that effective, to be honest.
Oh, he caught him on the reload.
Yeah, that's just a little bit fortunate at the time. He gets the AK as well. He's got no armor. He's had a P250, nothing else. Just a bit of creativity there with the boost behind the truck. And now it's Astralis on the back foot, recovering a couple of rifles here. It'll be the Galil, the AK-47. James has the AWP. They're right back in the driving seat here. Here we're holding towards the flower bed.
Wow.
Yeah, that's kind of insane.
I mean, Counter-Strike sometimes gives you lucky timings, but you have to be able to take the opportunity as well. I can't believe they made that work. Wow, wow, wow. So this is... You're going to see James on that AWP much sooner than perhaps you expected.
Absolutely.
And that is a scary prospect. Astralis have to find a way to do what Avangar did right now. They've got to figure that out right now. Avangar are playing super passive. They've got 4 on the A bomb site. They're feeling an A push somehow.
Gamble stacks required, I guess.
But they have a full buy round against... That is very unusual. With no information, that's a gamble. That's a huge risk.
Well, looks like it could be working out for them. This is exactly where Astralis are heading right now.
Are we going to rotate B or...?
Seems so.
That's smart,
the focus
actually.
continues. It's a quick rotation back once they spot all these grenades. Counter grenades from the counter-terrorists of Avangar. Glaive moving in close quarters, looking for a cheeky plant on the other side of the truck. Not a bad location for him. Sanji is causing a lot of problems for these Astralis players, and now Simpex is going to fall to the combination play. Some shrapnel after the fact, and everybody survives for Avangar.
That is crazy. All 5 survived. Avangar are playing very well, Henry.
They are.
They're
You
playing
can't
very,
argue with
very
that.
well.
They're a great, talented team.
Oh
they are very
God.
young as well. I think the average aim in this squad is 21. So this is phenomenal. But remember, this is a best of 3. They've got to keep this level of play up throughout 3 maps potentially as well, and they'll finish up on Dust 2. So lots of twists and turns to come. That's if they close this one out. Remember, this is Astralis. This still isn't done yet until you reach 16. As they'll just have Deagles only here. Dupree waiting to go towards short, but Molotov out. He'll have to wait and bide his time as James will be holding a defensive angle here, and one that will yield success. That's Glaive going down, and that's job done. They've confirmed they're on pistols here. They don't have to overcommit to angles, or you will be met by the Desert Eagle. Great shot from Device, unable to recover the rifle, however.
I think I first saw Avangar at PGL Krakow Major. I think that's the first land where I really saw them, and they were nothing but a shadow of this team. It's incredible the transformation that they've made happen since then. Mostly the same players as well. Device looking for more shenanigans. Oh, there's the chance. He gets it on the second shot. And now this gets problematic for Avangar. They've got to summon some clutch right now. Buster with that AUG. He's got the, one player close who's very weak. Oh, but he walks into the angle. That's the worst possible thing that could have happened. And now, Astralis look good for this one. The bomb will rotate through towards A, actually.
Yeah, I guess they're reading that Vanguard will move towards the B bomb site, so they'll try to out-rotate them. Now, I think James will hear some footsteps from his position, and Keycap's already on towards the A side. You can see James moving now. 32 seconds. I think a re-rotation is unlikely. Dupree with the rifle is actually by connector where no one will be rotating, so these pistols have a lot to do. That's a great way to start from Magisk. And now James, does he want to risk giving up the AWP? A very unusual turn of events straight back again. James really wants to hold on to this, but there's not, doesn't have all the world to try and hide from these players because Dupree is outside the B bomb site already, so
there we go.
How about that?
It twists and turns once again.
What was that team with Victor, Spy Leader, Bubble?
Oh, it was called MK, Mortal Kombat sort of thing.
Yeah, what was the name before?
It was Bubble as well. The team from
Bulgaria. They
I
were
feel-
called
I
Mortal
feel
Kombat
like-
towards the end.
Do you remember when they were rising? I feel like Avangar are in a similar position where they were like, hold on, these guys could do something. They're like really stimulating to watch, and they have really interesting straps. I feel like it's a similar trajectory.
Oh, we cast them at LAN during the APM Masters. Or
oh, what a great time that was.
What a great event
What
that
an
was.
absolute nightmare. Rest in peace. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Well, that team was never eligible for the majors because one of their players was banned. So yeah, difficult to really see the full potential from them, and they're all disbanded after that. Either way, Astralis win at Deagle. round with no armor and barely any utility. That's exactly what I'm talking about. When you think you've got them, you're just about to deliver the haymaker, and all of a sudden they're back on their feet and pushing you back in your corner. So,
what was that saying you said earlier about sailing? Smooth seas.
Smooth seas don't make good sailors.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So this is good. This is a good test for Avangar. Can they convert their advantage with some hardship?
Hardship. See what he did there, James. Oh, over the smoke. Nice boost coming in. They've been using those very well. 4 versus 4, the bomb down, and actually closest player to it is James with the AWP.
Come on, let the device up. Come on.
Oh, that's not very fair, is it?
In the face.
That's just...
The Overpass is one of the most fun maps to spectate just because it's got so many crazy boosts like this. It's so accessible. It's the only map I really think that has so many options. And Zipex will remove a few for James, as that's him removed from the equation. It's now going to be 12 to 8 almost certainly. CTs will be mad to go for this one. But it seems that they fancy it. I'll give them that much. They'll be flashing up in the air. It's going to have to take something ungodly at this point as they push through. I don't think this is the right play. Saving the weapons there would have been much more beneficial. What's their cash currently looking like? Not good. Saving 2 orgs there would have actually boosted their chances quite significantly. I'm surprised Majors is like, let me have a go at this one. No, son, you get down. Let daddy up.
And yeah, we've seen how hard this game has been for Astralis. That struggle on the first half, winning the pistol, then losing to a full eco, and yet they still look like they're in control.
I'm afraid the belt is off now, and it's going to be a rough ride for Avangar.
It's been crushed.
Did you say the belt is off?
Yeah.
I've got a story for you, Henry.
I've got plenty of stories about belts coming off, if you want to hear one.
I was at my friend's house once. He had a PlayStation.
Okay.
And my mother was too poor to have any of that stuff, right? So I used to go to his place to play Mortal Kombat on the PlayStation.
Yeah.
And I was playing with him. We were playing Mortal Kombat. And at some point, his mother just came in with a belt and just beat the crap to me.
For what reason?
I don't know. It's like he had done some kind of offense, and she just came in, Jamaican mother, just beat him with a belt. And he was there, sitting there on the floor, begging for mercy. Then she was done, and she left, and he was just crying. And I was like, I'm not leaving. I'm playing Mortal Kombat.
I've booked a session here. Like, we rented this game from Blockbuster. We really do need to kind of play this right now. So you guys are cool. You do your own thing. Yeah, the belt seems pretty brutal. I got hit by a slipper, never a belt.
A slipper?
Slipper was my one, yeah. You could chase around the house, just get whacked on the arse with it.
You lucky person.
I wouldn't say that's lucky, to be honest. Corporal punishment in any sense really isn't that great.
Slipper. You had it very
privilege.
easy.
It was a slipper with a hard sole, I'll say that much.
A slipper.
Proper slap. Yeah.
Oh, that's embarrassing. I wouldn't even mention that.
Dan, what did you get hit by? We're all sharing today. Right. Anyway, probably shouldn't be laughing at it. Probably moving on. It's all a joke.
Tennis rackets.
Tennis racket. That's a bit much.
A few times. Coming with a slipper. I got Stephen Hendry, man.
Stephen Hendry. That's a
he's like the nicest
90s
guy
snooker
ever.
reference for you there.
If you told me like Ronnie Sullivan or something, I could see him
Ronnie
like,
the Rocket is a
I could see him like having a few too many and going off the chain or something. But
plastic tennis racket. Anyway, Avangar now only 3 rounds in the lead.
More from James's pass later.
We have 7 orgs on the map. How about that? 7 orgs and 2 AKs. What's going on there?
What the hell is going on?
All right, well, Astralis making their comeback, and this is, wow, there's no utility whatsoever for Avangar, so you'd really want them to try to do something here against a team of the quality of Astralis. No utility on the CT side with a minute and a half on the clock. Not good enough. They do have 3 smokes, though, of what little they have. Astralis are going for a slow play towards the bathrooms here. They've got 1 man, Zipex. Zipex is there to control information. In case of Avangar go for a pop flash push on Monster, Zipex can stop that. And that will limit Avangar's aggressive potential to Suez right now, which they somewhat have. Ooh, some good info there for Jane.
Yeah, no one in that long position, but they have awareness. They can try to delay Astralis if they commit. Thought he missed, but he would get a tag at the very least and start to move back. Now Astralis have to wonder how much more he's seen and if that changes plans to a plan B. Immediately moving away from that long position, leaving device in situ. Up he goes, getting tagged as well. They really need some kills though, Avangar. 35 seconds on the clock. Zipex looking towards the connected door, but the push is towards A.
And they come, Magisk and co, opening things up towards A desperate boost now, but it's looking quite promising. The aim, certainly not. They had potential there, but the double kill can still come in. 19 seconds remaining, and Astralis seems to be rushing this one. A little bit clumsy from them, but still a 2-on-2. James, a characteristic miss from him. He'll be punished for it. Comes down to the 1 versus 1. It's Device with 29 HP. Recovers it, has to plant at this point. No choice. And the CT not challenging, so he has a chance to reposition, and he has the Molotov as well.
Very wise positioning there from Device, doing what he can. Tapping the bomb buster. Oof. There it is. Very nicely done. That was very tight. It's crazy because James got a couple tags and then just couldn't actually get any kills with the AWP. You thought that perhaps it would have spelled their doom, but Crizzen fortunately picking it up. I thought the boost from Kika, I thought that would have been the money play. That looked so strong. But he just had a horrible, his tracking was just off.
It felt like to me, Astralis, it said 19 at the top. They were acting like they had 9 seconds remaining. They were usually quite good at trading out kills. They came in 1 by 1, trying to trade that out. Could have just slowed things right after a couple of seconds just to make sure that they disabled that frag. But still, 13-9, they still have enough to buy. Avangar win it, but if you win for our frags, you only get 3250 in terms of your teammates for the next round, instead of winning by defuse, which is 3500. Magisk is not messing around at all. He wants redemption and blood. As he goes towards the underpass, he'll get 2 frags there. That's a nice way to open it, but James gives up his position with the AWP. Now, we talk about these top AWPers showing presence at these particular stages of the game. They want to get a pick there and maybe fall back towards A and start dictating the pace. Dupree pulls on back. Meanwhile, this is still all about James. He needs to work out where they're heading towards. He'll have to stay at the B side now, really, considering his teammates have dropped. 4 versus 2. He has a smoke and a minute to work with as he hunts for the next T player.
Bomb's making its way towards B bomb site. Ooh, how about that? Okay, Device.
Wow.
It's ready for all the angles. And Buster has nothing else to do. That was the play to keep Avangar in the round. Astralis looking to move to double figures now.
And even better, they've reset Avangar, so they should be good to come very close to tying up the game.
Well, just Buster now. You can see the cash really not there. This was a difficult round to begin with. They're a first stage loss bonus after losing this round. That is $1,400 per player. You see the right side of your screen, that really won't be enough. That's double eco territory. They need to save this org and probably force the next rounds at double eco regardless. So we'll see what they decide to do. Buster now, he might go down. He can detect threats all around him as the T's are hunting. And it looks like he'll get 1 kill, but will he be able to fend off the rest of them? Astralis can certainly justify another player committed to the hunt. Buster should survive, though. Nice positioning, but double digits for Astralis. As I mentioned, you're going to be double eco regardless, so you might as well force by now. And indeed they do. They've got an AUG, CZs, Deagles. These rounds can be very dangerous, and Astralis are certainly aware of it. They've won many of them themselves. As they'll send 3 towards B. I'm more interested to see where Buster heads towards and what's he up to. He might be the one boosted this time. He might try and get the opening kill somehow. And it looks like the B rush, Dan. And what have we talked about? We'll see what happens. Great stuff from Dupree to kick things off. Is there any threat on the other side?
Just good smoke, but they see straight through it. And Astralis using the power of pace to remove variance from the rounds. There's only so many things that can happen at that specific early timing in the round. And if you don't run into a full stack, then you're laughing. And in this case,
it's a big if, though. That's why
Astralis are laughing.
They can take a moment to smell the flowers. Remember the jumping scout debacle?
Yeah.
When we talk about Astralis and like if this is the hardest era to win consistently, we don't really... what's good is we don't have too many abusable things like a broken CZ75, jumping scout, or any really real nonsense in the game. People have,
I guess,
conflicting opinions on the
org. This is not my opinion. Is the org is the only talking point right now in terms of what state the game's in. I don't think it's a big issue, and I think it actually adds an interesting layer to the game. So for me, that's not a huge talking point, but I think some cynics out there potentially would say it's the org that's making them so powerful, but I don't think there's much to be said about that argument.
Well, you can't say that for Astralis. I mean, they were here before the org, they'll be here after the org. That HE shows up, but oh my god!
Delete it.
Oh my god!
They rushed B again, and that's why, Dan, you don't rush B. We've talked about this the last couple of days.
Granate!
They're bringing it back, though. It looks like they're going to be fine, even after receiving a triple kill HE grenade. I don't think I've ever casted a triple kill HE.
I don't think I've ever seen it.
I've been casting 5 years now. I've never seen that.
I know in this round, we should add the context. In a round like this, where the CTs are on eco and they buy days,
Sure.
the nuke.
That's pretty cool.
I mean, we do it in pugs all the time, never successful.
I think we saw it once on Inferno.
I think we saw...
But that's in like
last
how
season
many
we
years?
saw a 5-man roast of the Incendiary.
Yeah, but that was kind of murder-suicide.
Yeah, it was. They were just jumping in to get rid of themselves, essentially. They tried to deny the money, weren't they?
Yeah.
Oh, headshots. Headshots!
Oh,
Oh
wow.
my god, he's got the USB.
Trade,
No,
trade,
keep your
trade,
gun
trade,
out!
trade.
Keep your gun out! What's the difference?
Wow. Right, clip it. Get it on social media. Triple kills, nukes, everything. The hype is real.
Beautiful. That's what I say to people on Eco and Cash. Get grenades out or
They never
Mirage.
listen.
When you see a flashbang, throw the
And
grenades.
it's gone.
When you
They
see a
just
T-flash, throw the grenades. The timing is always on point.
Wow.
I like how because the dust is kicked up in the air, you don't even see the models. So we just have the X-ray and then the X-ray just gone. It's just like someone switched up, turned the lights off.
Unbelievable scenes. Shame you didn't win the round, but
Yeah.
good effort.
Banana bomb.
That was a holy hand grenade, I would say.
Yeah. Holy hand grenades.
Will we see the concrete donkey, though? That's the question.
Dude, I only recently learned about that.
The concrete donkey from 1998. Only just had it.
Oh, it was in that. I didn't realize it was in the early versions.
It was in Worms Armageddon, it was in Worms 2.
What we're still not seeing, okay, Bardov strat from the CTs on short B.
Yes, it's a good point, James. We haven't seen much
Throw
Bardov
a
strats.
pop flash from the barrels.
Yeah.
And throw a Molotov from Graffiti, which bounces off the top ridge, and
Yeah.
it will molly the sandbags and the water at the same time. So the
Sure.
point is, you flash a T, they stay in the corner because they're blind, but they're in a molly, they don't realize
James,
because they're
talk a
blind.
big game. Why don't you become the coach of Astralis and get it in there, implemented? Have you sent your application in?
It needs to happen. It needs to
It
happen.
needs to happen.
Astralis moving into the B bomb site with the numbers, but look how many CTs are here. And Avangar getting cut to pieces by the clutch minister, but now the trades are coming back. 42 seconds. No bomb plant pressure just yet. They need to get them kills, win by elimination. Kika now versus 2, moving away to reset the situation,
Ooh.
picking up the AWP.
I like that.
There's a smoke grenade up. Ooh, above Glaive's head. Ooh. Oh, he's really getting close. How is he still alive? Firing all the pins, trying to make Glaive look like Hellraiser. Hasn't hit the spot just yet. What does he do now?
He's out of there. And all of a sudden, ladies and gentlemen, the big storyline that was there, Avangar are doing it. It's going to be a convincing scoreline. It took one Deagle round, and look what's happened. We're back to an even playing field. It's 13-13.
The thing is, in some ways as well, it's reminiscent of that Liquid Inferno match that you brought up from the London Major. It's not quite the same because Liquid had this like perfect T-side game plan, and it was actually the case that, what was it, like a 12-3, 13-2 type advantage that they had.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like it is similar. That's like that resilience that we were referring to earlier. It doesn't matter how bad it gets or how well the other team plays. Astralis, they just need to find one.
Which is almost quite ironic if you think about it, because famously, throughout their tenure within TSM, for example, these particular core of this team were known as the chokers, the guys that couldn't close out games, right? They couldn't do it. And it just goes to show like the amount of hard work and resources being put into this squad to allow them to utilize the talent they have and realize the bigger picture and work out how they can get back into games. It really speaks for itself, and the whole sports analysis and all that sort of stuff, the psychology they bring into it. It actually evidently works, I would say, which is pretty cool, considering all the issues they had in the past. It's like one of their strongest assets now, I would say, being able to come back into games they look like they're out of.
Yeah, for sure. Oh. All right, Buster.
Here we go.
Busting faces. And now it's going to be down to Zipex to open things up a little bit, and he's going to get taken down by Crizin. Well, Henry, the plot thickens.
It really does.
The Bomb's on the wrong side of the smoke, which should have dissipated by now. James is still a problem. Look at the bomb just lying there on the radar around the corner. Astralis maybe waiting it out a little bit, so Avangar has to worry about a flank from the upper area. Device trying to deal with one player, but there are at least 3 to deal with in quick succession, close proximity. They are all here. James, I think he's got an angle on the bomb. Still time for elimination. Just waiting for it to be collected. Will they be ready for this angle? Surely not. Be focusing on the water. He's double scoped in now. They have to concede his position if he wants to help the players on the side. Down Device goes, 17 seconds now. You can see he's changed his scope. I think he must have been heard. Avoiding the flashbang. Hard for him to double peek, but Dupree, how has he done that?
He's just like, boys, running out of time. I've just got to kill him, if that's okay with you. So I'll just face check him and blow his head off and get my 4th kill of the round. How
That's
about
got
that?
to be frustrating for Avangar. They're in such a strong position.
Those rounds are the most gutting ones to lose, and it's the round, it's getting you back in the game. You're going to actually take the lead, break their money potentially. Well, actually not in this case, but it comes down to that, and it always goes wrong. Dupree, 27 kills, 18 deaths. And it's going to be 14-13. They brought it right back. How do they always do it?
Ooh,
that's
double
a
peek.
filthy double peek, isn't it? Look at the assist as well.
Yeah.
No one takes any damage.
That's
they completely
unreal.
rail him. That's the up gone.
Those are the kind of peaks we were talking about at the beginning on the CT side for James.
Mm.
That's not an expected result, but fantastic for Astralis, showing the strength of the team as they try to head towards game points.
The timing as well on that. They didn't even flash it.
That means that they, like, in how fast he died, that means they must have both hit 2 bullets at the same time.
Sure.
He fired a shot though, as well.
But
so
it was really fast, the shot. He died instantly afterwards.
yeah, he didn't kill anyone or hit anyone, but maybe it's one of those, maybe he shot between them or something. See
Through
2
the
targets at the
wickets.
same time, your brain's like, oh!
I hated my bracelet. Either way, we go into towards the A side. This is still possible to win, but look at the bomb. It's actually heading towards B as Glaive continues to show presence. It's so perfectly done right now. They haven't got 10 seconds to spare. They've got 30. They've shown absolute domination on the A side of the map, the B side of the map, towards middle. They're finding the kills. It's a 3-on-1, and Zipex is planting the other side of the map. They have been bamboozled here. Avangar have no idea what's going on as they desperately try and find anything to save into the next round. Maybe James Orp, but I think that's in the connector. As now, they'll have to just go and save. They've got maximum loss bonus, so saving this AUG is a must. They'll be able to bring something to the table, but essentially it will be map points. And Avangar's pick here in the best of 3. It's Inferno next, boys, and I don't want to break any hearts right now, but they are the world's best team on Inferno, in my opinion. So,
Avangar.
yeah. No, Astralis. So,
Oh, he's going for the AWP?
He kind of has to. They need something. But
Oh, it's
if
gone.
you're smart, you throw it at the map, right? And I think Glaive is the one who has it right now,
Yeah.
so they won't let him have that. Keep the orb. You can have it. One more round to go, potentially.
I hate being right sometimes.
You hate being right.
Yeah.
What did you say that was right
So that's what I
exactly?
said at the beginning of the match. Like, even if Astralis are put into a horrible position, it doesn't seem to matter ever.
I think I was the one that said when you were doing a big monologue
Yeah,
about
you
how
reminded
brilliant
me that I was
Avangar,
right.
It's like, Dan, remember what you said? So yeah, fair enough, I'll give you that.
Fast push comes in. Dupree wants to add to that score total. He wanted the 30 bomb. Unless they lose this round now, Astralis, he's not going to get it. Hey, maybe there's a chance after all. Again. 4 versus 4. Astralis keeping the pace on high. Zipex deep. Zipex will kill. 3 versus 4. Still a chance as Avangar vie for control of this B bomb site, but Astralis actually working their way back now.
Do they rotate the bomb to A, or does he go for the flank towards B? Now that Glaive's been taken out, I think maybe flank towards B would be more prudent, but Device has been taken out as well. How it turns around for Avangar, not over yet, of course, but with James so deep towards A, they've got the luxury of focusing towards B. They don't know if Astralis have made inroads towards the site just yet, so they'll play for retake, essentially, as Astralis move through the monster position. Zipex with 6 HP. Magisk is carrying the bomb at present, so Who would you rather have the bomb and who would you rather hold the angles? Magisk is the one who can take a fight, and he's the one moving forward with the bomb in tow. Spot one player by the door. Not expecting a second, but the shot is fired. Still alive. Again, Swaz Zipex, who tried to throw the bomb, but oh god, this is really taking too long. And it's allowing a CT to get towards a short position, which they may not be expecting anymore. Zipex having a look-see, no footsteps made. Just Jay's got to find that kill though. 12 seconds, the bomb is not going down just yet. And now it seems it might be disastrous for Astralis. Magisk more or less has to win by elimination, waiting for the first peak. They're both on the site. Well, one's on the site, one can just hide now, as the round has been won for Avangar. He can peek 2 HP. And there is life in the old dog yet.
The plot thickens.
The plot thickens again. It's the thickest it's ever been. This plot is unbelievably
thick. When you mix Guinness,
concrete implants.
Yeah. Mix Guinness and Baileys. It all goes wrong.
It's all congealed. It's all gone wrong. Yeah, it's really...
Before your eyes.
Well, Astralis still have plenty of cash, and all lead to this moment. 5 rifles on either side, no orbs. It's the classic battle of the AUG versus the AK. Who will win? We'll finally get the answer right now, as we'll have a clean test here. And we'll be the CTs with 2 players towards long, and it will be James holding towards Connector. Oh, it's very tense now. We've had some great online games this week, I will say that much. I've thoroughly enjoyed them, and it adds a bit more narrative with this whole cup system instead of weekly best of ones. We'll see what happens here. James presumably gets his first kill, but Magisk, he doesn't want to take this to a 3rd map at all. He wants this done in 2. Oh my goodness, that's a hell of a shot. All right then, 5 on 3. What have you got left, Avangar?
Oh, he had to get a kill there. The man had a grenade in his hands. That could cost him everything. It's all falling to pieces now for Avangar. Such a good effort on Overpass, and it seems the train may have found its final destination.
It's so awful when you're in this bus's position. You're like, I know it's over right now, but I'm still playing the game.
I'll pretend like I'm playing it. I'll give it a go. Gotta try your best.
Everyone's sat there in silence, letting him clutch, but everyone knows.
I'm already disconnecting my keyboard next to him. I was like, come on, mate, let's just get this over with. Pull the mouse pad out, just like headsets off. Already got my shoes back on, car started.
The car started.
But I'll give it a go, and I'll say, yeah, nice try. Anyway, what a game. That was actually really cool. Avangar are going to be gutted if that's the problem. That's their map pick, and it all falls apart. They had such a massive lead as well, but all it took, Dan, was that Deagle round. Deagle, no armor, a couple of 1-Deags, and they got their money back on track, and as usual, it's Astralis to bring it back from the dead.
I think it's worth also mentioning, though, that Avangar outplayed themselves in a few rounds on the T side where they didn't have a lurker, and to try and compensate for that, they were basically running back towards T spawn and just kind of had rounds collapse on them. So they could have had an even stronger lead in the first half, which maybe would have been enough to close it in a second.
I absolutely agree. There was a lot of mistakes, but also some heroics as well. For all the mistakes they made, they got a bit of quote-unquote luck with these sort of rounds and some fortunate timings. But yes, their decision-making when they had opening picks and advantages, when they had a 0 map control, it's very questionable to get all the way back around towards a map. When you're playing against a team like Astralis, you have no information. Sometimes you just have to go off the pick you get, the advantages you find, and trust in that instead of trying to be over clever and running the clock down to about 10 seconds, which worked a couple of times for them. It also cost them a few rounds. It all came down to this, though. Round 30, Astralis take it right at the end. Here are your stats. As you can see, Sanji at the top with 23, and it's Dupree and Device. The double D combo getting it done once again. 29 for Dupree, Device on 22. Pretty good fragging across the board on both teams, to be honest. No one really stood out, but Dupree, he delivered the goods when required. And those big Deagle rounds, one of the best Deagle players in the game, in my opinion. And that was a great game, and we've still got plenty more action to come as we have Inferno next. So, we have got some socials, Dan. I know you don't like this part of the show, but take a deep breath. Could you deliver the social media aspects? And we're also going to be answering questions. So, this is how you can ask a question. Dan, take it away.
Head on over to Twitter at ECS, hashtag ECS7, and you can tag us in tag us all in as well with your questions, whatever they may be. Whether it's a personal question to Henry, a funny one, got a favorite joke.
It's a joke question.
You can
You're
throw
such
that
a
out
pub
there
quiz
as well.
host, Dan.
He loves telling jokes. He's always looking for new material.
I will answer all and any questions. Maybe you won't, Dan. I'm an open book. So if you want to ask me anything you like, I'm ready to do that. James, were you willing to answer anything or just Counter-Strike related things?
I'm down. Relationship advice, whatever you need, baby.
Amazing. We'll open this up to the floor. We'll see what can be done. Also, there are tickets to the finals happening in the best city in the world, London, England, at the iconic Wembley SSE Arena, 8th and 9th of June. It's been a fantastic staple event of CSGO for the last few years now. We'll all be there, and it's all these best teams around the world will be as well. You should be if you want to. If you're available, get the tickets booked now. There's an early bird special going on at this moment, so go buy them now. Don't wait. You might run out of time and regret it for the rest of your life.
There we go.
Does that cover everything?
No one likes lifelong regrets.
Exactly. We'll take a break and be back with map number 2.